I'm coming to you today to talk to you guys about I would say a different definition of Smallville, which is Superman and Lois. This show came out this year, so I've been watching it, and it's been three episodes so far. So it's time for me to give my own suggestion. For me, I'm gonna continue following this show. I do believe that it might get better with time, but right now, as you can see, the ratings on there is 5 out of 10. So if you wish to leave now, you can leave. If not, just stay with me and I'll explain how I arrived at that number. So, what is this show? Basically, this show is basically moving away from Smallville, which is a show that I enjoyed for a good number of seasons until towards the end they started getting off track. One of the things about it is that it takes Superman away from being a child into being an adult and handling adult related responsibilities. Now, does it mean that we're not going to see child related stuff? I mean, sure, we might see teenager related stuff, but I don't know. Right now, with the way the show is, I don't know whether we're dealing with the grown up Superman or we're dealing with his own children. We just don't know yet, but sooner or later, as the show goes on, we will know. So the good thing, the thing that I like about the show is that it's moving away from Smallville. It's giving us a more adult-related Superman who has children, a wife. He has also the community he has to protect. Some of the good things about this show is that it's basically putting Superman in a role where it shows the difficulties of balancing family, work, and also dealing with community problems. As you already know, he is the resident save everybody. So it's not easy for him to balance family at the same time, deal with the community, especially when half of his own family does not even know that he's Superman. You know, also, as you already know, he's at the forefront of being that man who goes out there and gets stuff done. So, seeing him in this role, having all these weaknesses that he has to deal with besides kryptonite, it's kind of refreshing. But we're gonna see how this show moves forward with all these problems that he has to balance out. The bad thing about this show, and it's really getting on my last nerves, is that he has very whiny children. For a man who can pass through any kind of object, who can break through rocks, who can shoot lasers and blow cold out of his mouth, he seems to have very whiny children and a demanding wife. I'm not saying his wife is too demanding, but I'm just simply saying many of the times, she feels like as if she's someone who's entitled for him to always be there as her husband. He's also committed to the community, so he's not always going to be, readily available. Something like that, she should always keep that in mind so that she's not always putting herself in danger because he could be trying to save an airplane from crashing, and here she is endangering herself, thinking that he's going to leave that plane now. Come on, trying to save her. She has to always put that at the back of her mind. The same thing with the children too. I mean, I know that the children are trying to push him away at this point in time because they're trying to find their own footing. They feel like as if what he provides may overshadow anything that they could ever achieve, especially when they don't have certain abilities. And here's the situation, okay? This is the thing that is really pissing me off with this show, is that they keep calling abilities powers. I don't like that word, powers. It's just not an appropriate thing to use to define any kind of ability that somebody has, special abilities. It should be defined as abilities, not powers, okay? So, I don't know. For me, it's just better for it to be abilities than powers. Yeah. Furthermore, his father-in-law is constantly disrespecting him throughout this whole show, telling him that he's destroying his children's childhood by telling them early that he's Superman, expecting him not to have a life and that he should be always at his own beck and call. And many of the times, when I look at Superman, he acts like as if he's not a father. He's not always in control of his own children, making sure that they understand, hey, these are certain responsibilities, being the children of the Man of Steel. There's certain privileges that you may not have. And it is hard for him to balance both looking after them, making sure they're always safe, especially at the period in time when their own abilities have not been figured out yet. They're still traversing that tricky area, and at this point in time, we don't even know whether the second child has an ability, to do anything, you know. And for me, I think that Superman should be involving both children in every activity that he's doing in order to enhance ability. He needs to know when the second child starts to develop these skills, in order to make sure that those kind of skills are put, are channeled in the right way. Because the way I'm seeing it is this: with the way chromosomes are, one of the children may have it as a latent ability, and as a result of that, it might show up at a later stage or show up in their own children. He needs to find ways to deal with these issues right now. So there's just so many things that are going on with Superman and Lois. I think the show can be improved on. I believe that the show can, go places. But first of all, the writing of Superman, the way he is he's just too soft, and I think they need to take that away a little bit, make him a little bit more harder, more of a man, more of a father, rather than all these so-called soft men situation that they're trying to create, where the man is always taking orders from his wife. That has to go, So yeah, and that's one of the major reasons why I'm going to put it a 5 out of 10. It could improve, I don't know, but we're just 3 episodes in, and I'm just judging it based on 3 episodes. So until the show ends, and then I'll give you a proper proper rating on this show. But for right now, 3 episodes in, 5 out of 10. All right, let me talk about a couple of things that I noticed in the show that is really troubling me. And this is the end of the review, guys. So if you want to go somewhere, you can go somewhere. I think I'm done with what I wanted to say. But anybody who is staying here right now, basically you're just listening to me, just talk about how, what I feel about this show. And here's the thing, man. The way the show started, in my personal opinion, I think that they should have lengthened the time before Superman tells his family that he's actually Superman. I think it should be at least 4 episodes, 5, 6 episodes before they even do that. I really like the idea of him coming home every single time, maybe fighting the bad guy today or so on and so forth, and still having that situation whereby his children are wondering where dad is, what's happening with dad, what's going on with the old man, why isn't he here, why isn't it here, to see all of these problems continue to weigh on him, to the point that he has to say something or else lose his family. I want it to be that point whereby the family is about to be destroyed and he has to compromise somewhere, but no, not this. They just rush the whole thing because they have something else to say. They didn't take the time to really give us that Superman feeling, to get that feeling of Superman, like as if he's, that greater than life kind of guy, but now he's with the family and the wife. I think they should have gone down that route. They rushed it. They took that beautiful experience and just congested it into a very small episode and just wanted to just run to the next thing. I think that's where they went wrong. I don't know whether they're going to come back to it, or maybe they're going to find a situation whereby he's going to be reflecting back and we kind of see what is going on, what has led to some of his children, acting the way they are, becoming very whiny. I want to see that. I want to see the first time those children came out into the world and how he reacted to it. Did any of them show promise during that period and he didn't find out? Maybe one of them was showing promise and he never found out. Were there other issues that may have been triggered before, that whiny, crazy child started misbehaving? And the whiny, crazy child here is the child to the most right hand side of this picture. If you're looking at my screen right now, is the most right hand side of the picture. He's so whiny. Personally, I would say this: that character is just eating me away personally. Okay, it's eating me it's eating me away, and I don't know. I just hope they improve on it, and I think they would, by episode 4, which I think has already dropped already. So I think they would do that, So those are that's just one of the pet peeves I have with it, is that they moved too fast to get us to where Superman is. I hope they go back before it's too late. I hope they go back, because it's something that I believe would really get people to understand what is really going on with Superman. Why he has come to this level, why he's losing his job. I mean, sure, within the first episode you kind of get that feeling, but I'm not totally convinced that Superman is just going to make some kind of sentimental decision, based on emotions. Most guys don't do that. Most of the time we sit down and we think about things, and think about why we are trying to do this. For me, the show never gave me that, that situation whereby a man will sit down and logically say, I want to move my family to Smallville in order to save them. You understand what I'm saying? So that is one of the problems I have. That's just one of the series of problems that I have with it. I'm not trying to say that the show is bad. Like I said, it's 5 out of 10. It's average right now. Okay, so that means it's still watchable. It's like something you watch when everything else is not on television. Like if you just come in and you're about to sleep, you can just pop this on and try to watch something, and then go ahead and sleep. But other than that, I would say right now where it is, it's not something I would recommend for somebody to sit down and truly understand. Another part that I'm having problems with is Superman's behavior. Now, I don't know what to say, but I would say this: that for me, many of the time as a man who can destroy steel, a man who's been labeled as man of steel. I mean, it sure looks a little bit weak to me personally. The show in itself I've shown this maybe in the 3rd episode, whereby he's fighting a man who basically kicks his ass many times. I think he kicks his ass during the event of them fighting. And Superman wasn't even able to put this guy down fully. And one lady out of nowhere comes in with Superman's laser eyes and kills this guy in one blow. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. But you know what? Episode 4 will be able to shed some light on who this lady is, what she is, and whether Supes is going to, come in contact with her. But man, if you can tell me that a guy who Lois was able to maim by putting something in his own eye, was able to fight him back and put something in his own eye, was able to beat Superman. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, how does the math work? Lois, who is a normal human being, was able to get away from this guy's clutches, and this guy was able to beat Superman. Come on, man. Are you serious? What kind of storytelling is that? This is Superman, a guy who's able to catch plane from the sky, right? This is Superman, who's able to carry a whole car. Lois can't even carry a car, yet she gets out of the grip of a man who's able to beat a man who is able to catch a plane falling from the skies. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. I don't know who's writing this, but it's just ridiculous. It is, seriously. Superman, oh, come on. You guys need to watch the fight, because it's... Anyway, let me move away from this before I get caught up in this nonsense. His father-in-law is giving him a lot of disrespect in this show, and for me, I think it needs to stop. The father-in-law himself needs to understand that this is a man who has a family. This man is married to your own daughter. That means he is the one now raising your own grandchildren. Okay? Him being a father is more important than him saving the world. I don't care what the situation is. Those children come first before the world. He didn't come to the earth to save the world. He came to the earth to survive from his own world being destroyed. Him saving the earth is a luxury the earth has. Okay? And now that he has kids, it is at their own expense that he's providing services to the earth now. So the earth needs to find a way to pay tribute. Okay? If the earth people cannot survive without Superman being on the earth, then they don't deserve to survive. Superman cannot be at their beck and call. How long do they think that Superman is always going to be at the beck and call? Right? And look at a clock that is ticking in his own home. A time bomb, 2 time bombs that are ticking in his own home. Right? If he doesn't raise these children properly, how are they going to transfer morals to the next children that possibly will have the same Superman abilities? Eh? And God knows what happens when those children have a very low moral status. What do you think is going to happen to the earth? Huh? What do you think is going to happen to the earth when you have 2 of these nuclear powers that are growing up in his own home? Huh? I mean, sure, maybe, okay, we can sit down here and say they are half in nuclear power. Okay, fine. But God only knows what those children can bring. I mean, they're at least 10 times stronger than the average human being. Let's just say moving forward, we don't know what's going to happen. One of them, which is on my father's right, is already showing up certain abilities. Okay? So we don't know what's going to happen moving forward. And you, as the grandfather, will come out to Superman and open your stupid mouth and not tell Superman that that he owes the world. He don't owe no world. The world wasn't there to save him when he came down. It was Martha and the father, somebody Kent. I don't know what his name is, Kent, that saved him. So if there's anybody that Superman owes anything to, is those 2, not the world. It's a public service that he's providing. Okay? And it's at the expense of his own 2 children at home. Superman needs to know his priorities. His priority is to his family first. The rest of the world can wait. You know? So those are the things that I was expecting Superman to actually do, for him to be battling with his own father-in-law regarding this matter. And I think it should have been something that, maybe there was a tug and pull between 2 of them, but at least to some degree that should have been the argument here. You don't need Lois to come in there and tell him what his priorities are. No. If she wants to open her mouth and say anything, it should be away from the father. It should be between her and Clark. And knowing that Clark, Superman, can speak for himself. He's the man of steel. He can speak for himself. He doesn't need any woman talking for him. He can speak for himself as a man. That is what you respect as a woman. That is what you expect from him as a woman. You know what I'm saying? That's Superman. And you sit down here, you want to doll him up and make him look feminine. Come on, please. Stop. Make him be a man. Make him be close to the Smallville character to a certain degree. Because that Smallville character was very stubborn. Yeah, sure. But whatever he wanted to achieve, he achieved. I don't want a man who just continues to follow his wife's skirt. I don't want him to be doing that. He shouldn't be doing that. He should be a man who stands on his own, who's leading his own family. Besides trying to help the world, he's leading his own home. That is what they should be defining him as. Not trying to fit this so-called whatever they're trying to do. But I believe that it's going to improve with time. Especially with him now being a coach in a school, providing education to the younger ones. I think it will get better. It will get better. Now he has to balance that kind of work, balance the possibility of children finding out that he soups. You know what I'm saying? And then having his own children know that he is giving them both social support and moral support, which is very incredible. So I think the story might be getting better, but I'm not going to applaud them on taking their time to get to this part, because a lot of people would have lost interest from the very get-go, from maybe the first episode. I think maybe the first episode is going to hold people to a certain degree, but the second episode is going to lose a lot of people. And then third episode, I don't know about that one, but hopefully, fourth episode, I am praying they do something about what's going on here. You know, I think to some degree they may be hinting at maybe Lana Lane having Superman's child be a woman. I think they may be hinting at it. I do not know. You know, with the way that girl is behaving, I do not know. You know, there's some kind of connection. Only God knows what they're gonna do. But I'm praying that they get some better bad guys than what they have right now, which is Lex Luthor. I think they should have better bad guys. I think Lex Luthor should have been something that should have been in the background. He should have been somebody who has been watching Superman throughout this whole season 1. He's just there in the background, just watching, trying to understand the Superman. Not someone who just comes to the forefront and starts, doing things. No. We don't want to see all of that nonsense. You should have been in the background. You should have been the person recruiting certain people to do certain things. You should have been the person who is maybe causing mutations in certain people to, go ahead and weaken certain places in Superman's life in order for him to do what needs to be done. Because here he is saying that he was a soldier in the grandfather's army. Right? He was a soldier in Lois's father's army, right? And certain things happened, and as a result of that, they went to war with Superman in their own world. And for some reason, maybe he killed Superman, and now he's here in this world by mistake. Or maybe while trying to kill Superman, he comes to this world. So there may be a possibility of a bad Superman from that other dimensional world coming to this world to fight the Superman in this world. Who knows what may happen in the seasons to come or in the episodes to come. But we know there's always a possibility, right? And then we have Lex Luthor now, who is supposed to be, here's the situation, who is supposed to be focusing on creating events that are going to weaken Superman. That means having him in multiple places, while at the same time trying to find ways to make sure that, let's just say, trying to find ways to make sure that Superman is in a weakened state when he fights him in order to have the edge. A lot of people usually say the reason why Hitler lost the war is because he was fighting too many people at the same time. It's the same thing that could be applied here. You have Superman fighting on so many fronts that he doesn't have the strength to move, to continue in that kind of pattern, and then you have him. So we now have a reason for Lex Luthor now to create all these people or to entice them towards something. But here's the situation, guys. In the last episode, for the third episode, we see a situation, right? We see a situation whereby we have an organization that has been organizing some mutations, a mutant in the society. But here's the thing, guys, right? We don't know whether that's related to Lex Luthor in this world. Okay, in this dimensional universe where we are with Superman right now, we don't know whether it is the Lex Luthor of this world that's causing those mutations, and I hope he is. And hopefully the Lex Luthor of this other dimension comes with this other Luthor of this other dimension, and hopefully they come to an agreement or something like that. Who knows? But that is what you always get when you have all these interdimensional problems. So anyway, I don't want to start going into the craziness or the possibilities of this show, but what I can say is that the ground is fertile for a lot of things. Okay, I just hope they don't waste it. I just hope they don't waste it, especially with the way they did with Smallville. Just it was the ending seasons. They were not doing it properly, in my personal opinion. I don't know. I think that show rode way too long, and I'm hoping that this show is going to be short, maybe 2-3 seasons, but we get something great. Again, one of the things that I'm really afraid of is this: if they give this show the Supergirl treatment, I'm going to be out. I pray they don't do that. Please, I pray they don't give it the super girl treatment, So, yeah. But anyway, CW, I wish them the best, really, with this show. I really wish them the best. So, with that said, I am done. It's your guy, 5 minutes or less review, signing out, and I'll see you on the next one, which is gonna be next. So, yeah, I think the next topic I'm gonna be talking about is whether DNA should be mandatory. You know, whether DNA testing should be mandatory when a child is born. So I'll see you guys later on that discussion. All right, now take it easy and have a good one, guys. Bye.